Hey, it's Giggy. Welcome back to SIPTOPIA episode 4. Since I messed up last episode and placed this medium storage backwards, what I'm going to do is decrease the priority on our tree farm 2 for now, so that way we can get our other fermenter built as soon as possible. And I also want to increase on these small storages, that way the haulers can have all of the ingredients right by where we're producing our food. And since we keep adding more and more beavers to our population, and this is SIPTOPIA after all, let's go ahead and place some medium storages for water, or medium tanks. That way we can get some more water stored and our beavers do not go thirsty on SIPTOPIA. That would be a failed mission. Alright, let's go ahead and increase speed here, and let's change these now that this is done. We're going to do fermented cassava here and prioritize, and then we'll do fermented soybeans here and prioritize by haulers as well. Looks like we only have a couple more spots to fill in here, and then our farm plots will pretty much be done. Let's go ahead and unpause these lumberjack flags, though. We have quite a few trees that are popping in, and I want this built right away. I'm going to adjust the workplace priority on all of these, because if I remember, some of them I put to, super low. This is now a higher priority since we have so many trees here. And that one's good, that one's good. And I'm going to lower the priority over here except for one, because these aren't as high of a priority right now. I want them to focus on cutting down these trees so that way our forester can go ahead and replant and we can keep our tree production going. And since we have a lot to build, our industrial area is a very high priority, so let's go ahead and adjust these just to make sure they keep working, as well as the food. We don't want beavers to ever stop working in these places. And it looks like this fermenter is done now, so let's unpause that one. And it looks like our small storages are done too, so let's go ahead and set those up so that our haulers can bring our ingredients here. I think I'm going to set these as prioritized by haulers as well. And since we're in cycle 5 and a bad tide can happen at any time, let's go ahead and set up some floodgates here. I want to get rid of these dams because we don't need the bad water to be any higher. We want that to be flushed out as quickly as possible. I'm going to set these as a very high priority. That way we can get rid of these dams. And it looks like I forgot to set our medium storages, so let's go ahead, adjust these down for a second. And then we can reset them. Did it get, yeah, it got that one. There we go. Because I want the medium water storages built first. And let's check on these small piles, make sure, oh, that one was not set to obtain. Alright, are we missing any other ones? Those are all set. It looks like this one was also not set to obtain. And since we moved our lumber mills over here, let's change this to logs for now. And we can finally delete this and our path here. And let's clean up some of our debris that we left behind. Let's take a look and see how our berries are coming along. Alright, still got a few days left. I am going to replant the oak trees here though, because eventually we're going to move our berry production over on this side, so we won't need the berries over here anymore. And I'm curious to see how many large wheels we can fit in this area, so let's go ahead and set those up right now. We have one here, 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 and here, and then we can just copy it on the other side. And let's add in our large wheels. Can't wait for all of this to be built, but it's gonna be a while yet. Got a lot of other things to do first. Alright, so it looks like we'll be able to have 12. Let's go ahead and pause these for now. Just out of curiosity, so one of these wheels gives us over 500 power. So if we have 12, that'd be over 6,000 power. That will definitely power everything that we need it to here and then some. So that worked out great. And it looks like our water tanks are built now, so let's go ahead and increase the priority on Tree Farm 2 again. We want to get this done as soon as possible so we can get some more trees growing. Let's unpause that. The workplace is going to be very high priority. And it looks like we've got a couple spots to fill in some pathing here, so let's do that really quickly. And I think, yeah, I want to add a path going across this way as well. And it looks like we have 0 beds right now, so let's go ahead and get another house going for our beavers. We don't want them homeless. And I think since we're going to be getting quite a bit of wood right now, let's go ahead and unpause some of these log storages. That way they can keep grabbing all the logs and not have to stop for anything. And all logs. Alright, and then let's go ahead. Also going to increase the priority on these because I want those built as soon as possible. Alright, that's looking good. And I want to set 2 of these to obtain and buy haulers. That way the beavers have water directly by their houses. And I also want these set up as well so that our fluid dump doesn't have very far to travel. And I see one spot that we can add canola for now, so let's get that filled in there. And since we don't have a whole lot of water, let's go ahead and unpause this 3rd pump. We have more storage now. Let's go ahead and fill it up. And since we are going to place the berries and the coffee bushes over here, let's go ahead and delete a lumberjack flag and replace it with a gathering flag. Make sure that we have this set to a very high priority as well. And it looks like I added a path over here that doesn't need to be there, so let's get rid of that. And it looks like we're pretty much full on canola, so let's pause you and let's get these berries gathered over here real quick. We can kind of start our layout over here. So we want to end up with berries on top here. And then we're going to do our coffee bushes here. Add a path just to make it look better here. And the rest is just going to be oak trees. Let's get that all set up right now. This is so much easier when most of the trees are already gone. Unfortunately, our first tree farm, we weren't as lucky. But we made it happen anyways, and I appreciate y'all for bearing with me. Looks like we have our floodgates built now, so let's delete our dams here. And then I will want to add a stair on this side so that way the beaver can go ahead and cross this way. And then let's set this to 0.90. Let's see if we can get that much out of it. Looks like we only have one left here. I just need to tap it. So once that one's done, then we'll go ahead and delete the dam there. And now we have our foresters built, so let's make sure we have somebody working in there. Hate to do this, but we can decrease from there. And good, now we have at least one working. And I want you to focus on doing the blueberries right away. Get that done. I still haven't finished this. Hopefully they can finish that shortly. I do see we have some more spots for canola, so let's add that in real quick. And I thought I marked that already, but it would seem not. I don't want that replanted. I want canola there. Well, even without that one built, let's go ahead and just select this to 0.9. Oh, good. Now it's built. Perfect timing. And then we can go ahead and delete this dam. And the water's gonna take a minute to figure itself out. And then we'll want to add stairs on this side as well, just to make it easier for these beavers to come from this angle, since that's where we have the items stored. I'm going to increase the priority on those stairs as well. And let's go ahead and adjust all of our bad water diversion priorities. So this one is going to be the highest priority because food is most important. Then we definitely need our trees, and this is also very important. Let's change this to high though, because this one already has trees built, and so I do want that one built next, and then we can do the other one. These, we can have that be a low priority because we don't really have anything here that the bad water would affect. Alright, let's see what else we want to work on. Alright, so we can pause you now. You gathered all those berries right away. Let's make sure this one's paused because you don't have any berries yet. And I think we're going to unpause this medium warehouse. That way we can start building on top of it. Alright, and since our house is built, we have 9 empty beds, so let's fill them up with some beavers and add a couple more breeding pods. We've got a good amount of food now. We definitely are working on getting some more water, so I think that is our next priority. It looks like we can finally finish up the canola in here. Oh, there's one left. Always one left. That's alright. At least we can get this going, and once they finish that one, the farm area will be done. Let's add some more pathing over here, 'cause it looks like we have a couple spots that we can fill in. And let's see. Alright, so this bad water diversion is getting close to being done. And how are we doing on tree farm 2? It looks like we can fill in some more trees. Alright, let's get that going. Yeah, this is a lot easier when most of the trees are already gone. Let's add some pathing in here too. That's pretty much complete now. We'll just fill in right here. That is looking really nice. And it's looking like our food storage is pretty much at capacity, so let's go ahead and get our first large storage built. That way we can empty this one out and add some more right next to it. And since these take so many planks, let's open up another lumber mill right now. Get that going. That way we can keep up with plank production, because there's a lot of the large warehouses that we want to end up building for food storage. Alright, that's all looking good. Let's see. I really wish my beaver breweries were built already. What is taking so long on that? Let's see, what did I change? Because we're working on that first. Alright, that's fine. Once those are done, we'll get our beaver breweries. Let's add some more trees over here. And some more pathing. This is almost complete now. And let's see, just a couple spots here. I think we have another spot for a path right here. Yes, we do. Alright, that's done. Let's see, are you... Yes, make sure that we have you in there. Oh, and I can also prioritize by haulers there for you. Help you out a bit. Alright, it looks like they still don't want to get this one kohlrabi, but we'll be patient. No rush on that. And since we're getting close to a drought coming, let's go ahead and unpause our water pump over there. Make sure that we get some water stored on that side of the map. Alright, all that's looking good over here. And since we have so many oak trees, I'm actually going to unmark these pine trees over here for cutting. If we need them, we can, but that way we are already set up to collect pine resin. And let's just fill in a few more spots for trees over here. And fill in with our path. Nope, that'd be a stair. That was definitely not a path. And it looks like somehow we got some trees right here, so let's make sure that we unmark those trees for planting, because they're currently on the path. That was an oops. Alright, let's take a look and see what buildings lack workers. Looks like it's just the forester and lumberjack flags, so I'm okay with that. Since we have a lot to build, let's go ahead and add another beaver into our district. That way the next one that comes on grows up will end up going right into the district. Alright, let's see how they're coming along over here. This is almost done, then they'll do the beaver breweries. And since we have the medium storage built here, let's go ahead and change that one back to normal, and we're going to change this one to supply and take that off of prioritize. I'm going to unpause another inventor here. That way we can go ahead and make sure that we are continuing. I want to increase the priority on these, make sure that there's always a beaver working in one. We need to make sure our science keeps growing. There's a lot of things that we still need to unlock, and we don't want progress to slow down just because we don't have the science to do it. Alright, they got rid of the one tree. And I love when the pause just flips your whole screen. Alright, we got our drought warning. Let's add the tree in there real quick. Well, I'm very grateful that we are getting a drought this time and not bad water, because the only bad water diversion that we have completed right now is by our farming area. None of them by the tree areas are done yet, so we lucked out on that one. And it looks like we have... we still have some room for planks, but might as well add these since we have a ton of trees right now. And that way our beavers don't slow down on production. I think we'll end up placing another plank storage right there. And one there. Let's go ahead and make this a very high priority. Get those built. And I think just to continue increasing well-being, and this is a very simple thing that we can just go ahead and add right here and here. We'll just place roofs on top. And it just adds a little something. Let's get those set up, and then we can increase the priority on those. There we go. Let's see if this is built yet. Okay, still a work in progress, so once that's done, we'll empty out this medium warehouse. We can place a couple more large storages for now, though. Let's place... let's see. Once we move the medium storage, we can place... Why did that just bug? We can place a fourth one right here. This one's going to be fermented soybeans, and then this one will be fermented cassava. And we'll pause this one for now. And we will set these to a very high priority. Alright, they finally built that one, so let's empty this one out as quick as possible. And then they can move them right into the storage right there. And we finally have finished our farm. Oh, it looks beautiful. Our next big goal is going to be metal. So let's start planning out how we're going to get there. I think this one will be just fine. So if we add a platform right here, and then we can have stairs going down. And let's add a path going over. Actually, I think let's get rid of that and add platform there. This one's got to go too. Then we'll have stairs going up. And then we can connect right there. Now we need to plan out the going down part. So let's see. We'll have to unlock some platforms. Should be able to do... Let's see how this breaks down here. And then we'll add stairs going down. Oop. And this should be 2. Oh, that lines up perfectly. Look at that. Got lucky. Alright, let's put it on 1. I need to set up our industrial area real quick since there is a drought. Sadly, now we need beavers on a wheel. So we're going to need 4 of you. We will pause some of this plank production because we have more than enough planks. Well, we did until we were building stuff, but we still have a decent amount of planks. And I do want the food production to keep going, so let's focus on that. And it looks like we have some more trees that we can fill in here, so let's get this finished up. And there's only a couple more birch, and looks like that oak still needs to get out of our way. Can add a berry bush over here. And the pathing there. Yep, we just have that one, and otherwise that's pretty much finished already. Let's continue adding over here real quick. And before I forget, because I do this quite frequently, let's go ahead and just mark the trees for cutting right away so I don't forget and they can immediately start working. Alright, let's see how we can have this set up here. Of course, there's a tree right there. It's less than ideal. Can we get... Let's see, we definitely will want a scavenger flag, but it looks like that's not going to fit, so let's delete that. We can then put a scavenger flag here. And we can have at least one... Can we not even fit a lumberjack flag over here? This is a catastrophe. Alright, well, scratch that. This is now a lumberjack flag. And then once we actually get rid of some trees, then we can go ahead and start placing our scavenger flag and add some additional lumberjack flags so that we can get those trees cut down as soon as possible. You know what, actually, since we have so many trees, I'm not going to be butthurt about a couple trees over here. So let's mark those to be removed. And then that way we can set this up nicely over here. I think we'll get rid of this for now too, because what I want to end up doing is setting up some storage over here. That way the beavers don't have so far to go and they can just keep gnawing down the trees and selecting the metal. So let's do that. And I want to end up doing the same thing on this side as well. And then this can be for our scrap metal. There we go. Yeah, that'll work. So we need at least those trees removed as quickly as possible once we start heading out that way. But the bad water diversion has to be done prior to working on the metal. Alright, let's take a look at what we got going on here. We can pause you for now because those are full. And I want to reallocate some beavers since we had to put 4 of them on a wheel, sadly. And since we're going to have a lot more to build, let's get a builder's hut finally going. I think it's time for that. We don't need a ton working in it right away, but I do want this set up because there's times where we're going to absolutely, sooner than later, need a lot more beavers to be building. Otherwise, progress is going to come to a halt. Alright, let's see. This is now done, so we can delete that one. And let's go ahead and add another. And we can speed up time again. I just needed it to slow down for a little bit when the drought hit. Make sure everything's set up. Pause that one for now. And then I do want to start building some of these for our crops. So let's just do one of each for now. That should be fine. We don't have to make it a super high priority because, again, the bad water diversion is. Because we're probably going to get bad water next drought cycle. It would not surprise me. And since I keep adding more and more tasks to the haulers, let's go ahead and add another one. Just make sure that they can keep up with everything. In order to save space over here, because right now the way that we have the stairs going, this kind of blocks that part off. We can also get rid of the teeth grindstone there. We had built them over here instead. Let's go ahead and add some paths here. We can create a diversion walkway is my goal. Do the same on this side. And then that way we can end up just building stairs over here on each side, and this is open then, so we could probably put large tanks here is what I'm thinking for canola oil and for coffee and so forth. And then on this side then we can continue just like over here. I'm going to set those at a high priority, but they don't have to be done immediately. Just want to make sure that it's all set up. Alright, good. It looks like we've got our fermented soybeans large storage done, and we're almost done on our fermented cassava. That'll help tremendously. And I think what we'll want to end up doing is actually placing some large storages over here as well. That way we can have gear storage. And let's pause one of them. But let's set you to gears, and we'll put you at a high priority, but doesn't need to be built just now. Alright, let's take a look at this builder's hut. So I think what we'll end up doing is putting that in red, and then we're going to have 4 in here. Make sure that we always have builders going, but if we have any extra beavers, then they can go ahead and build as well. Let's see where that removed beavers off of. Definitely fine with that for now. We can actually pause all of those just because we don't have any trees grown right now. So let's pause all of our lumberjack flags. That's completely cleared out now. And I do want to unpause our gathering flag for the berries though. Make sure that we get more of those because we want to keep growing our beaver population. Alright, let's just take a look. So we have only those places. I am totally fine with that. Alright, let's see what else we got going on. It looks like... Alright, so we definitely need to unpause another house here and get that built immediately. And I'm honestly thinking, since we have a ton of wood, let's go ahead and build 2. That way we have extra housing if needed. Alright, and since we've got both of these, let's go ahead and empty these medium warehouses now, and let's prioritize these by haulers. Make sure that we get our food set up. And I want to move these small water storages, so let's actually empty that. Oh. And add some more over here by our housing area. That makes more sense because we're going to need this space for more large storages. And then let's make sure all these are selected for water. And we want those built right away because we want to continue to add more and more water storage. Alright, and since the trees are gone here, let's go ahead and place some large storages here real quick. Because I want to prevent any of the trees from coming back. And we don't need these built right now. But that way we don't have any trees growing here, because eventually we will want these built. And then we don't have to remove any trees. Alright, let's see what's happening over here. This is all looking good. Would like some more log storage, so let's go ahead and add some on this side so that trees don't grow back here as well. Let's slow it down. Looks like our drought just ended. And I do want that one built because we do need some more storage for logs, so let's get that going. We'll pause these. Alright, and let's see. We can take beavers off of a wheel, which helps out a lot. That'll give us 4 beavers back into the workforce. Looks like we can delete this warehouse, this one, and this one. And let's just select all of our debris. Clean up after ourselves. Well, we lucked out this episode by not getting a bad drought, but I think our luck is gonna probably run out at the for next episode. So hopefully we can get our bad water diversions built prior to that. Otherwise it's gonna be a hot mess. So I need to stop asking the beavers to build all of these other tasks or projects and make sure that our bad water diversions are all set. Thank you for hanging out with me. Please leave a comment and provide any constructive feedback, something you'd like to share, questions, and or just say hi. Take care. See you soon.